Hi folks, Van Prepper here. I'm going to do a quick video on the Mosin Nagant M9130, a little bit about the history of this rifle and just some information on it. As I said, this is the M9130 Mosin Nagant rifle. These rifles were developed for the Russian Army between 1882 and 1891. They were finally ready to be put into service. They were developed by two men. One with the last name Mosin and the other one with the last name, you guessed it, Nagant. And these rifles were, the need for these rifles became evident to the Russian army as they had suffered a defeat to the hands of the Turkish army, and the Turkish army had been using repeating Winchester rifles, and they realized that they needed a better battle weapon for their soldiers, and they developed this. And it was not designed to be the most pretty rifle in the world. It was not designed to be the smoothest bolt action or the best trigger pull in the world. It was designed to be durable, to last through harsh conditions, the conditions of war. And these rifles have proven to be durable because they're still around today. They were used in battle for over 50 years. There were a lot of variations, starting with the M91. And then they adapted them to the M9130, made them a little shorter, changed the front sight, covered the front sight, made the rear sights better so that they weren't so flimsy. They were having problems with that. These things really are, they're great rifles. They're very cheap. I believe I paid $100 for this rifle plus shipping. And it's I don't know if we're going to be able to pick this up, but it is a Tula rifle. It was made at the Tula manufacturing plant. You probably can't see that. There's a star there, right about here, that indicates it was made in Tula, the Tula factory. This particular rifle was made in 1938. They're very simple, very easy to disassemble, to clean, to reassemble. They were made so that the Russians could bring people right off the farms in Russia and not have to spend a lot of time training them on how to use these rifles, that they could take people that were not professional soldiers and make them effective in battle. The bolt is not a bad bolt at all. It slides nice, it slides very smoothly. It's very easy to get out. You just depress the trigger and the bolt will pull right back. I will do a video later on bolt disassembly and reassembly for cleaning purposes, and rifle disassembly and reassembly. There's really not a lot to this rifle. You pop the bolt out. There's a screw here underneath the bolt. Excuse me, there's a bolt here underneath this bolt. There's another bolt under here that holds the trigger guard on. Actually, it's right back here, that holds the trigger guard on. And so you've got your bolt, you've got your receiver and barrel, you've got your trigger guard, you've got your stock, you have your handrail, which is this small little top piece on the stock, and then you've got a cleaning rod. These rifles fire 7.62 by 54R rounds. They can be had very cheaply. When I bought this rifle, usually pretty much any of the Mosin Nagants I bought, I've gotten a spam can of ammunition with them, or a crate of ammunition, 440 rounds. It's cheap. It's corrosive ammunition, but you've got to clean the rifle anyway after you shoot it, so the corrosive ammunition really hasn't proven to be a problem for me. They're easy to clean. Because they're so easy to disassemble, you can pour boiling water right down into the bore when they're completely taken apart. The wood won't be on it, so you won't have any trouble with that. It'll go right down and clean it out, or you can use Windex. I've used that a few times. Windex takes the salt particles out and then you clean it like you would a normal rifle. These rifles also, they were most of the time, before the Russians put them in storage, they completely refurbished them. So for the cheap price of $100, $120, you can get essentially a brand new rifle. These things were completely refurbished. They were counterbored if that was necessary to make them more accurate again. Most of them come with accessory kits. This is a little container that's divided right down the middle and it holds solvent and oil. They come with this little tool pouch. This particular tool is very valuable. This notch right here, this last notch, can be used for the bolt disassembly and assembly. Wraps right around the firing pin, fits perfectly. These two in the middle check the protrusion of the firing pin to make sure it's not too much protrusion or too little protrusion. And the head on it acts as a flathead screwdriver to get the bolts out from here and under here. These rifles are, as I said before, they also came with a sling. They are a great value. A lot of people call these rifles junk because of the price, but the reason the price is what it is because the Russians manufactured them in unheard of numbers, really. They made about 17 million of these things, and I can guarantee you if the Remington came up with something better than the Remington 700, and the Remington 700 became obsolete based on some other rifle, and they had 17 million of these things, Remington 700s sitting around in storage, the Remington 700s would suddenly become available for $100 instead of $500 or $600 or $700. So it really has nothing to do with the quality of the rifle. It just has to do with the number of these things that were in storage, and they're available all over. The price it shot up for a while, like all firearms did after the Newtown tragedy, and they've really come back down in some cases to a lower price than they were going for before online. They're a lot of fun to shoot. There's a lot of variety and variations in these things. There's a lot of history. They're featured prominently in movies like Enemy at the Gates and Defiance. A lot of period pieces really give the due to these rifles, and if it were not for these rifles and the men who carried these rifles throughout the battle with the Nazis, in the Battle of Stalingrad especially, who knows what would have happened to the rest of the world if Stalingrad had fallen. So these rifles really are, they're a lot of fun to shoot. There's variations. I have an M44 and a Type 53 carbine rifles of these, and they're both, if you want to impress somebody at the range or get some attention, bring these things. They're very loud. The muzzle flash and the boom that the carbines make, I call my M44 the boomstick, because the carbines make a very loud boom and a very impressive muzzle flash. And these rifles are fun to shoot. They're quality rifles. They're very durable, and they're not too bad for accuracy. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learned a little bit about the Mosin Nagants, and if you have any ideas for other videos, let me know. This is Van Prepper. Happy shooting.